duo failed, but my duo left me. So I tried to see where I can get what I could do. It's a 2v1 as you can see. And I dropped my loot to like do light server battle only against only one at a time. But they double team and kill me. I become second, which is bad. But I really want to do a fair 1v1 person first, then the other. But you see how it plays out. And try to the rocks. And I get killed. There. They had like even health. That is kind of cool. They had even health at the end. Look there. And they had Victory Royale. GG's to them. I really wanted to do was a 1v1 each one. But it's okay. They couldn't hear me via their team as their enemy. But GG's to them. GG. And I did add them. Because for me it said anonymous. So that way to not see anonymous name if they have it on, is go to replay mode. You will see their actual username and be able to add them if you want. But new item shop, let's see what's in it. Booga's back, Icon series are back. Oh yay. Auckland, 7PK. Chica. User Fruit. Laser Beam. Griff G is back. And also Pit Stop. Star Racer is back. Cozy Chompers. Comfy Chomps is back. It was Sever Shark, but the better version I would say is the FNCS one. Spire Immortal, Inspire Shard, Pickaxe and Skins back. The Burger skins are back. FNCS Champion Celebration emote still here. The IO Guard skin is here. Legion Fish Stick. Crush Cross emote. Pink Streak Wrap. Office Chariot. Breezy emote. Wrap here and see. And still here is the quest pack. Goku Black. FCS skin, which will be leaving soon. I think maybe this Monday possibly. And Star Wars skins are still here. Including special offers and bundles, which is the Save the World, Anime Legends Pack, and Strange Transmissions Quest Pack are here, and Group Pack, and Cool Legacy set are back. And FNCS line. And I am going to see what is in Legends Landing. If I can find it. Recent. Replay. What the heck? Where the heck is Legends Landing? Where the heck is Legends Landing? The library. What the heck? Where the heck is Legend? Just change. Let's go. Right. Icon series outlets are here. And yep. And it says, find out who will secure their spot in the FCS Global Championship. But if you don't know it, if you watch the FCS Legends Landing for 30 minutes or more, you'll be qualified to get the back bling today. And that's what we are going to do. For by just watching the FNCS through Legends Landing. Now let's see where that's how I can get that on here.
Now, we have to talk about duos that we think could become international talent, not just here in NA, but exceed and go past that to the global championships. We have to start with Bugha, right? I mean, a name that we could sit here and talk about forever. These guys landing down south of the map. Talk to me about this duo.
Yeah, and that's kind of the highlight that I want to point out. South of the map, there's actually a lot going on down there, and it's actually expected that pretty much half of Bugha and Threats' split drop is meant to be contested for over the weekend. Now, I think that could have big implications to maybe how they will perform at Invitational. That was kind of like a similar situation where some of their drop, some of their loot was getting taken away from them, and as a result, you know, some of the rotations were so hard. So I'm hoping just that little bit of extra prep was put into this weekend, so that way we can see Bugha and Threats at the top of the leaderboard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I hope that they prep together too, just even to build that chemistry up as a duo, because, you know, Bugha, everyone knows the name Bugha. it's Bugha. But, you know, both of them together,
out,
this
good
is the first time since Chapter 2, Season 7 that Bugha has picked a teammate that is not a previous FNCS champ. So we'll have to see how they perform together.
Wow.
All right, let's talk about the duo landing in Mega City. Reet and Epic Whale. I mean, these guys could potentially also be considered favorites, right, Vivid?
You know, I got one word for you, Zeke. Aggression, right? Watch out for Reet when it comes to these mythic pump shotguns and making sure that they find eliminations throughout the entirety of the game.
Yeah, they're great. They have 8 total FNCS champions under their belt. They're going to perform so well. Epic Whale, keep your eye on it.
Okay. Yeah, we're just going to have to speed on through this as well. Another duo on top of Reet and Epic Whale. Remember, these guys are basically kings of NA West before. Now looking to hang here on just NA, but a duo I think would probably be like a dark horse, you could kind of say, in the competition.
Yeah.
Trashy and Pump. How are you guys feeling about this duo coming into the weekend?
You know, as much as they are a dark horse, right, I feel like a lot more people are starting to learn their name for sure. They've been playing so well in some of these Cash Cups, and specifically, I like this duo because of the strategies that they are actually able to implement, specifically early game Storm Surge strategies when it comes to collecting a bunch of extra shield, so that way they can take some of those early tags and just kind of trade them back, so that way they can get to end games consistently.
Oh yeah, they placed 8th last season, but you know, this season they have shown that they have, you know, got so many victory royales this chapter for weekly finals, and I really believe that they have, you know, they have something to prove, and I honestly think they will in these games to come.
One last duo to talk about here, veterans like Cease. It is Yamzo and Rise. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of respect on this duo, but considering them international status, is that where we could place them?
Yeah, I really think so, and I think this might be the season where we actually see them qualify to globals. The only thing that kind of worries me about this duo is that they're so good at playing low ground, but unfortunately for them, so are Acorn and Cold, and that's probably where we'll actually see Acorn and Cold most of the day. And fighting that duo for low ground is so tough. So I still think Yamza and Rai have a great chance when it comes to actually breaking top 3.
I agree, and I do think, too, it is good to point out Yamza and Rise and Acorn and Cold are the only 2 duos that have top 25 of 100% of their weekly final games. So I really think, you know, if there's a challenge to go, they're you know,
Those
they're
are the
head
2
and head.
teams.
Like,
Yeah.
we're going to keep our eyes on them to see which one wins.
Absolutely, and before we walk away here, this bottom right half of the map is looking scary, okay?
Yeah.
This is going to be something we're focused on here in the competition. And just think, that was only like 6 duos we've highlighted here.
That's crazy.
There are so many more duos, so many high caliber duos we'll be watching compete this very weekend. Now, speaking of high caliber duos, we've got another one. It's Jacob PR and Monster D-Face.
Man, that was an introduction.
Say word. We get to come back. It's finals week. You know what the vibes are, Zeke.
It's good to see you guys. Welcome. Grand finals here in North America. We've made it. I feel like there's a lot of expectations coming into North America.
The truth is, last week the bar was raised. Storm Surge in particular was a factor, but not as much as we thought. The week was great. I know this weekend's going to be even better.
Yeah, and everybody talking and yapping, Acorn and Cold this, Acorn and Cold that. But there's a duo that's been on my radar. It's a duo that won 3 games back to back to end yesterday's Duo Cash Cup. That's Baka and Pars, but I'm also just a fan of NA West.
Yeah, I'm going to have to stick with Acorn and Cold. I am looking for a show. I just want to see all of the goodness that you guys can do right now.
When it comes to me, I'm looking ahead. I'm looking towards international events. I'm looking towards globals. I want to see who kicks off, you know, these first 6 games going into the MAR to actually finalize it, to make sure that they can make it that high caliber event.
Really quickly, do you guys have a duo that to you stands out? Is that Acorn Cold? Is that someone else?
I mean, listen, my boys Kanata and Aegis, I know you're contested, but I've seen some stats. Contested teams are not always out of the picture. I'm going for them.
Yeah, with the combined regions, there's about like 5-6 teams that stand out, but I'm going to continue NA West, that former region, Baka and Pars, they're one to watch out for.
You don't even got to ask me. You already know.
There we go. There you go.
Acorn and Cold.
It is that time. Acorn and Cold, are they the ones? That's what we're here to find out. But we are ready to go, and we hope all of you are as well. This is it. One of the biggest moments for North America. It happens right here. And it starts with game number 1.
Well, you heard it there first. It starts with game number 1. North America gets the kickoff here and now for the day 1, the finale, all of course setting up for the Global Championship.
If you believe that first 4 weeks of play, 3 weeks into Surge Well, guess what? Stand up and get ready because this finals is going to be one to remember. And thank God, everybody at home, that it is underway. Game number 1, Monster, starts right now.
It sure does. Couple teams being contested. We already know the numbers are up for them. Kanata and Aegis being one of the few. That's going to be the team that I want to bring my focus to, hopefully, out the gate here. If, of course, the teams decide to go in and take that fight. You see on screen, though, Batman Booga, Bacon, big boys from the West here coming in, representing.
Yeah, this is a huge changeup as well because they thought they were going to get contested by Smallzy and Diego Plays. This is like a sigh of relief for them. Free loot. We can kind of get the game underway, but this Monster is what you were waiting for.
Well, welcome to the grand finals of the FNCS Major 2. We get to kick it off with a bang here. Kanata's going to be the first to touch down, find himself a little weapon, and you can hear the shots ringing out already. Listen, Sprite on the other side, he's an experienced player. He's been in these types of fights in the past, but now talking about tier 1 caliber of an opponent here to go against, you can see what it's all about. Kanata and Aegis handle business.
Yeah, game number 1 already proven to be exciting with Kanata and Aegis setting the pace. And for Kanata, this means so much. He qualified to every single grand finals, but has yet to win the big one. This could be the weekend for him, and the implications means global championship.
We saw a lot from On1 and Zypha this weekend. Storm Surge was an exciting one for this duo here. On1 loves to fight. He's also exceptional at taking these types of battles. Look at how he's moving in on Zuki's right now.
Slowly but surely, you call it yourself one of the best box fighters here on the region. Kind of pick him first when you play the draft. The shot's going to fire through, but that's not going to slow down neither Zypha or On1 as they bulldoze their way in and take down Zuki's.
Not only that, hit the emo, get the laugh, get him out of here. The replay, though, look at touches down, finds the Maverick Shock, and slides on up. Big pumps hit down. Just like that, it's all over.
Yeah, the Landrock got that Havoc, just wasn't really able to kind of put it to use. And you can see Trashy and Pump over here, a little bit of contestation coming out. And now already there's one elimination on the backside of Pump. That's Jack, who did go down. And instead of looking for Qual, they're just immediately trying to gain that height just in case he ran away. But sooner or later, they might know he's down there.
That is right. And listen, Trash and Pump have the most victory royales from low ground positions than any other duo right now. They are literally in the lead. You're talking about a team that is now fully healthy in a 2-on-1 situation. Qual has to hide out, but notice he slips out the back here. I don't even think they realize he's gone just yet, and he should be able to slide out of here safely.
Yep. You can see the slap juices coming into play for both Trashy and Pump. Just kind of get as much as you can off your drop. And it's just the only question is, did he get the reboot card onto Jock? As Qual does look like he is going to be able to get away overall as we jump on board the drop spot of both Yamzo and Rise. And Rise, you can see he's left by himself, but he's no stranger to being put into these positions.
Rise is an absolute favorite as well. You see him hit the quick knot. Doesn't even give his opponent time to go ahead and situate there. He's going to finish up Nick and Nick's there for a quick cleanup. Brings back Yamzo, but Yamzo tagged on the way down here. Yamzo is a type of player that when it comes down to finals lobbies, pros have had this rumbling about themselves, saying, hey, listen, he's had a hard time stepping up when it matters most. But Rise is on the opposite side of the conversation. This man has an accolade and a resume that really speaks for itself.
Yeah, and their consistency is insane. Even though they did miss out on 1 week through the first 3 weekly finals, they placed top 25 in every single one. And that goes to show, even in past seasons when they were contested, that as long as they get a chance to play, they're a contender in each and every one of their games.
Well, listen, Acorn, congratulations, signing to Team Dignitas. He says he wants to be the first, while under the banner, to bring home an FNCS championship. See Cold rocking alongside him. These guys are truly the tier 1 GOATs right now on the North American scene here. They've really been putting up the numbers. I mean, they're on a first place streak. It's hard to not conversate about them.
Yeah, and can you believe the way they dominated last season's FNCS finals? They've been taking that same momentum and continuing it into this one. But you said Acorn wants to be the first one to bring home a championship to Dignitas. Well, Booga's right here, and he has something to say about that.
I mean, he has to, right? Now alongside Man City's Threats, Threats has had quite the year. I didn't expect to see Threats actually earn his way on up to stand alongside a literal S-caliber style of player, which is, of course, Booga. Booga has nothing to prove to anyone. Yeah. I mean, he's already standing true, one of the best. I think there was a time and place where season after season he was counted out, but, you know, he quickly changed that narrative post-World Cup. But let's hop on over to Vert. Vert, one of the few who, of course, has dabbled in cross-regional play, right? Not many can say that, and he's been at the top of his game lately. He's with Rokane, another veteran.
Yeah, and definitely these guys just need to find that way to get consistent here on the lobby, because we know their pop-off moments are absolutely insane, and this format in the finals allows for those pop-off moments. Instead of the normal 2 points per elimination that you were getting for the weekly finals, it's now 4 points per elimination. So now that big risk comes with a big reward, and Vert, anytime he gets aggressive, that's going to be something he's looking out for.
It's really crazy how much the dynamic of Fortnite play has turned, right, into, especially in the recent seasons. You have, of course, the kinetic blades pushing an opponent is faster than ever. With red dots being introduced into the round of competition play as well, you really have this opening weapon, this rifle that you can hit a player from any distance, but now you can also close that distance gap. The game is faster than ever, and I feel like we're seeing that even now in the player pool in general. We kick things off pretty quickly. The elimination feed was lighting up.
It's like Dignitas all over the lobby, but Ritual and TK contested over on this side as well. It's probably Smite and Larson over on the outside. And honestly, I like this. They're feeling each other out. They're not just fighting right out of the gates. They're giving each other, or giving themselves, I should say, a chance to really show what they've been working on week in, week out. But since they're kind of splitting the loot and they're going their separate paths, they have to figure out where they're going to get the Surge and the rest of the loot in their arsenal. Because right now, having a Havoc is good, but having a common Havoc isn't the best one that you can have.
Yep, that's right. Here we have, of course, Bully Bean and Lyzix here, just eyeing out the competition, looking out for anyone in the distance. Like we talked about, the dynamic of Fortnite, of course, now revolves around having this red dot. It's all about positioning yourself into locations that you can farm your Storm Surge early, which means get that damage up so you're not the victim of damage later from the game's mechanics.
Yeah, especially it allows you, if you do get that far zone pull, it allows you to focus on that rotation rather than, am I going to get Surge? Am I going to rotate? You fall back behind a lot of the other teams, but one that I'm looking forward to, high hopes, Muzz and Degen. Muzz, he's won an FNCS on 2 different regions. Now imagine he wins the inaugural one with the combined regions. That is accolade on top of accolade for someone like him.
Very few have the resume Muzz can boast here. Degen, of course, has some great big title wins under his belt as well. Of course, some of the underneath some of the bigger third-party tracks. But hold up, let's hop on over to Cease. We had the conversation with him. We had him up for an interview here. Cease, he says he has a feeling like he had during the World Cup days. Can you imagine sitting in a seat right now, partner behind you, like you're in the same room, you're in the zone right now. Mentality and the mental state of competition, being in the right state of mind is so important. Cease is there. I think this is a dark horse.
Yeah, I think this is a team that has all the potential in the world, so kind of hitting the nail on the head there, especially with Tragics. He plays almost every single event. He plays the Collegiate Cups. He go ahead and test the waters against so many different opponents, but what that does is allows you to see so many. When a fight does break down, maybe it's something you don't necessarily expect, you're going to be prepared. And you can see them splitting up Brutal Bastion. On one side, they're trying to set up for Surge, and on the other one, Aviv and Skittles, they already have the key to that vault.
Now, what's crazy is what we're looking at are tons of players inside the zone. Now more than ever, the way Fortnite plays out, especially when there's a vault in play, people will sit around and heal, stay inside the zone for as long as possible, try to optimize their loot. And you can see even right here, Aviv and Skittles, not looking the greatest with material count and stuff like that, but they do have the time on their side. But let's get to the zone. Let's get somewhere safe. It looks like there's a battle potentially breaking out between Nolens and Crew here.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of the new flare guns popping off, just making sure that they know where those opponents are at. Typically, you do see people save it for later on in the end game so you don't get surprised at any single turn, but using it early allows you to find that perfect rotation, to find where a lot of these players are at, so you can either go ahead, try to hold them back for Surge, or you can just go directly to the center zone.
And it really does show you the difference of dynamic. What you would normally see, you save the flare gun, not in finals. Finals, there's a problem nearby. Let's just make sure what this problem's looking like. And also, when you spot a team out, I mean, sometimes that's just enough to fend them off. Say, hey, look, they know exactly where we're at. Maybe this is not worth taking this battle.
Yeah, I just kind of had a question mark pop before my eyes. Elige doesn't have any variation of a shotgun in hand, so interesting to see how that one plays out. But back on board, Vert and Rokane. You kind of talked about the possibility for them to pop off, get a little bit aggressive. Right now, it does look like they're testing the waters. That's Seek and Lawrence on the other side. And they have the advantage. They have that little bit of height, but even a little bit of height makes a big difference.
Seek's been a free agent for quite some time. Lawrence, of course, being a recent sign, is the limit. Rocking with this crew right here. I like this duo. This is a very young duo, a duo that has had tons of FNCS finals experience, but again, being in these lobbies is nothing new to them. How high, how far can they push that boundary? We'll find out here soon, but let's get into a battle. This is one that's going to conclude. If I have to put my money on it, Larssen right now seemingly is on the, I would say, the losing side, although they're pushing back. Look at all the opponent builds. They have higher health pools. NPen and Polarized, the more experienced duo, seems to have it on the control right now.
Yep, all the way from Kenjutsu Crossing, where it's kind of uncontested over there. Not a lot of chance for Storm Surge, but leaves Polarized and NPen hunting for it. But with the amount of kinetic blades you are going to get on that side of the map, mobility is not going to be a problem. As again, box to box, that is User, that is Larssen on the other side. User and Larssen, they've competed at the FNCS Invitational. And let me tell you, Monster, you saw it as well as I did. They shocked everybody in attendance over and over with those off-spawn exchanges.
Larssen, and on land, right? On land was one of the few that was putting up those numbers when no one expected it. And you know what? When the competition ended, they were up there inside that top 10. They were up there as one of the few that absolutely came out and showed up when it mattered most. Of course, you know, taking home the bag is always nice as well, so lucky for us, we get to celebrate in those moments. But hold up, Pamstu, Thatch, Acorns down, Cold is here. I have to assume this is a one-on-one right now, but no, Pamstu is here too. It's a 2-on-1. Pamstu's already breaking this thing down. Cold's coming in for the battle.
Wow, Cold with a monster shot on a Thatch. Everything comes crashing down. That was Pamstu trying to think outside of the box, but Cold is 2 steps ahead of the competition. And another big shot coming out from Cold. This is the first test that we're seeing here in the finals.
You are seeing why this is an FNCS Champion 1 who is active in the field right now. Cold putting up the defensive measures against, again, a favorite. Pamstu and Thatch, teams that have traveled across the world to position themselves to be in the most hyper-competitive environment, so they have the best odds here on the stage. If Thatch and Pamstu can overcome and fully wipe out Cold, I mean, this might be one of the few chances they get to.
Yep. Rift Island is now spawning up, and everybody here close by, including all 3 of our competitors, has that decision. Do I disengage, go for Rift Island? Cold's probably thinking, do I disengage and try to get Acorn back? First usage of the Connect Blade's gonna come through. You can see in the mini-map, nobody's really looking his way. I think Cold has just committed a heist.
There is one, though, in the distance as Lyzux there. Remember, they were playing those bushes and looking around for an opportunity to find tags, and they find a first couple onto Cold. Cold now has to weigh his decision here. He goes into the augments. He finds himself the flare gun. Okay, this is big. Again, these information, you know, being able to gather that information right here is extremely important. It can do wonders for you and your environment.
Especially if you have Acorn as an IGL that can focus on just IGLing. Re and Epic Well, fan favorites. You can see their loot already. They have those Mythic Havoc pumps all the way from Mega City, but they want more. They want those pulse rifles at the top of Rift Island. And if anybody dare contest them, they have to be careful.
The scariest part, we all know how good Re is. You're gonna give him a pulse rifle this early? Not a soul in sight looking to contest the island. This is so different compared to last weekend's Surge Week, right? The weekend that we saw Surge Week, there were 4 or 5 teams hustling their way on over to these islands. Not now. You respect it. Tier 1 duos up there, you give it to them.
Yeah, it's a huge risk here in the finals. You kind of saw it very, very similarly over on the EU region, to where in those first early games, there weren't as many teams contesting that Rift Island to go for it until later on in the game, as Casker's Clarity slowly being surveyed by Nounsy and ZZ. Is this an opportunity they could take advantage of as Casker escapes? A couple of shots are going to land. His shields get broken, and this could be a great opportunity for them to try to close the distance.
Opens it up with 110 tag, decides, hey, we're above the surge, eases up on the pedal. I'm not sure if I'm in full agreement with the disengage, but hey, getting into a prime position is equally important, and for them, they're okay with this. But look, the numbers already adjusting, right? This is why you have to think about whether or not, hey, should we have finished that fight?
That was closing the distance. The play is Cold. He did get Acorn back at least once. That's going to be Miro who does go down. Instead of going and getting greedy just to pick up that elimination, it's going to be a double res from both of those teams. Cooper and Mero is the team just a little bit north.
And let's just give a huge, huge round of applause. Cold steps into the storm, saves his teammate, gets pushed by another duo in Coop and Mero, and then defends them successfully as well. Now tries to escape here. Can he get to the heals in time? He does just get there. That was so close, but again. They are back in like they never left, all because Cold was willing to fight for it.
I'm getting that feeling of deja vu. It takes me back to the FNCS Invitational again. And that's what all these players are fighting for. Of course, the prize money, the Axe of Champions, but there is 3 spots up for grabs for the Global Championship at the end of the year.
That is true. Here's Pumpin' Trashy, also just on the heels of getting themselves into new zone here. And the feed, Batman Booga finds himself a nice little elimination in the cleanup there, but Pumpin' Trashy are rotating. They have plenty of loot out here to work with, and okay, things are gonna settle down right now. A little match split between Trashy and Pump as they start to situate themselves.
It's another team right here. The consistency is just out of this world. Kind of in my predictions to get top 10 here. I know they're fighting for that #1 spot, or at least the top 3. As they rotate neck and neck, right next to Cease and Tragics, another team nearby as well. This is going to be the congested side of the zone. We keep pulling south, we keep pulling west, so eventually one of these players is going to have to think outside of the box and how to get ahead of all of them.
Everyone working the same way. Casker just finds himself Nowsy, walks into a barreling big shot there on the other side. Casker's going to be happy about this one. He's going to pick up CZ and the teammate. That is fully done now. And the refresh is nice. That's welcomed. But the zone's hustling them on over. We're getting to that point of the game. We're getting to the late stages now.
Yep, where every mistake, every step you take is going to be watched like a hawk. And talk about a duo right here. Both of them coming from a and Peterbot, another team when you watch them throughout the weekly finals, performing high standards, but right now they're below the damage threshold when it comes to Storm Surge. It isn't much, but Peterbot knows with his back up against the wall, he's ready to perform at a moment's notice. And you can see though, he's not just getting greedy, he's not just going for the shots, he immediately takes that height over the team and starts to look off into the distance.
This is crazy. Your options, bar none, difficult. Like you have Pamstone Fatch, Trashy below you, in the distance a whole duo, Rise right there, and then on one, a player you do not want to box fight right now. Peterbot is in a world of trouble. It's not looking good for Quanti either, and they're gonna try to sit this one out and heal it. Is there a chance to fight back? Doesn't quite seem like anything's opening up just yet.
And the worst thing here is they're separated. Quanti all the way down low in the mud. Peterbot, the tower high in the sky, but it doesn't matter for either one of them because they're just taking tick after tick, damage after damage. 21 below. Quanti looks like he's on his last breath.
Just in time to save Quanti. Quanti was a tag away from getting sent back out to the lobby, but just like that, Peterbot finds a quick 2-piece, and that keeps him in the round here, but the zone's now moving. Quanti has nothing, so if Quanti hasn't ran already, that's game, so yeah, he's already cutting loose. What a tough position to be in.
Yeah, if it wasn't Storm Surge, it wasn't the other teams in the lobby, it's definitely not wanting to go down to the zone, pulling you in. Even though there's only 40 left, at least give something for Quanti to work with, but that goes to show Peterbot and Quanti almost have no other choice. They need a siphon. They need a refresh, or their game might not last that much longer.
Way to play for it as well. You know, he could have easily healed himself, but he's selfless, or selfishly did not do that. He ends up supporting his teammate. Now it's up to Cold right here. Or of course, sorry, Acorn to put Cold on his back as he's lost his teammate.
Gonna show that it's not all about Cold. The IGL makes some big plays too. Paper gets boxed up, trapped towards the low ground, barely able to escape on the tail end. Acorn not really peeking for the shot, but eventually he's gonna have to do something. 45 below the damage threshold. He's continuously trying to hold height over both Paper and Shadow.
And he pulls zone as well. The half in comes all the way to him. He is completely safe right here. The shots come in from the distance, and this is what a professional player will do. He's gonna go in and give himself a little bit of space, change the layer up as well, just to keep eyes on the team just below him. And with excellent style, he is now not only safe, but has time to bounce back and get healthy.
Yeah. Acorn. A couple of seconds here for him to try to stabilize his position. He too, just like Quanti and Peterbot, who I did see go down in the feed, needs some sort of refresh. He needs something to keep himself going, but as a solo, it's not going to be the easiest thing. It's exactly how Cold went down. That's TK versus Ritual. It's just going to be a trade between the two, as TK is just probably scrounging to try to get the shots, goes down the Storm altogether, as Acorn stands tall. 8 points so far, he's looking for more.
Well, luckily they both did a tag. They both got credits for the eliminations, and that's going to be 2 points. Those are extremely important. But look, Court Whoa, gives up high ground because he sees loot down low and jumps on top of it. I don't know if it was completely worth it. He realizes, wait, that's only 50 brick. Are you kidding me? To spot that out. Now he gives up the best position where he could have gotten the tags that he needs here, but he sees more heals in the distance. Instead of going for those slap juice, he says, I need to get to height and I need to get there now. And on up he comes right on back. What a play!
Yeah, it just shows that even though there's loot, even though it's a necessity for him to try to get anything that he can, he's not getting greedy. And that's exactly why we call him one of the best IGLs of all of Fortnite. And I expect that to reign true. It's 12 games throughout the weekend, 6 today and 6 tomorrow, as Kanata and Agers poised to have a great game. You saw them win their off-spawn exchange over towards the racetrack, and they extended 2 more eliminations after that.
When you talk about some of the best, you got to put Kanata in that conversation. It's been years since he's fallen outside of the top 10, by the way. Check his resume. Look at his history. This man performs, contested or not, but when he's below the surf, he has to take a fight. They get in, they clean it up quickly, and just like that, it is over. Now, 52 players remain here, 30 duos. Things are starting to look very choppy here. This is the end game. You can imagine the stress is put on the lobby right now. It must be so hard to even navigate this here.
I know, I got scared for a moment. You hear it in the distance. You see it there on screen. The pulse rifles from both Reet and Epicwell going and firing off so much, but Acorn down on Storm Surge, tries to make a miracle happen, but he gets caught out, and that's Baka there that can kind of clean up all that loot, and that was one of my worries seeing it here. Epicwell and Reet down on Storm Surge, but I think they just sacrificed the early game Surge to make sure they got both the Vault and the overclock pulse rifles.
That's right. Now they find themselves in a great position here to play off of, but you open that window, you get tagged. Reet's gonna get punished here. Remember, they do have, like you said, those pulse rifles. This is the weapon for high ground. Like, you are in the best position to play for height when you have this. You have everything in your power to do so. They're just teetering on the safety line and the danger zone for Epicwell and Reet. I mean, they have to find something. They have to find it now.
See him looking off into the distance. Not really finding anything that he's comfortable with, and as soon as he tries to rotate from point A to point B, all his shields, his HP goes down. 3 HP before getting that mini off. A huge moment for Reet, trying to stay alive. He only has a couple of seconds to work with. 91 below the damage threshold. Him or Epicwell need to land a monster of a shot on that team below him, and they only have a few seconds to make it work.
Reet's trying to trust in Epic to do it, but Epic doesn't find anything. Now it's up to Reet here, just moments away there. The shot comes in, even better for the opponents. They're gonna get an elimination credit, and it's up to Epicwell by himself, but I have to assume they're gonna be taken out here shortly. Let's pan on over the high ground, though. We have Jamper up top right now. Of course, we saw Jamper switch up his duo, try something new for the new season. Looks like it's going well for Game 1.
Yeah, this is honestly, I love his outlook as well. He's a huge fan of competition. He was talking about it on social media, watching EU, getting himself pumped and ready to go for the NA Finals, and already with 2 elimination points, the placement points as well, Bugha and Threads, in almost a very, very same scenario, but instead of flying high through the sky, they're one of the teams that is trying to take over the low ground.
Well, I've seen all the predictions. I've seen the list. I've seen the top 5s. Bugha and Threats are up there somewhere in that mix as teams to perform well. Take a look at Bugha. This is where he begins to do best. It's these end games. Bryson Chubbs are one of the other teams on the go ahead and fight back. They're 62 above the Surge too. There's still about 10 players that have to fall here. A lot of players are still somehow surviving right now.
Yeah, and you're actually seeing why. Everybody is saving the flare gun till the end of the game. Rotating. They're trying to make it as easy as possible, but they're just trying to gather that information. DeQuinton breaks through, but he goes down altogether. Neto, he is trying to make something happen. He has no heals. He peeks through the wall. One shot's going to get landed, but it's not going to be enough to get the knock, but he has to continue on. He needs a refresh, though. He has no mats, no heals, nothing other than a trick up his sleeve, or at least I hope.
This is a tough spot to be in. You're by yourself, players everywhere. You see dudes zipping around, and what do? You run for your life. That's what Soneto's trying to figure out right here, and he is just playing through the builds here. Very dangerous game he's playing in, and there it is. He finally gets taken out. Finally, Jamper also gets target off a height. It's Muzz and DGen who is waiting for them, and now they capitalize. We wanted to see if Muzz can step up when it mattered. DGen's here to back them up. They're hurt.
Yeah, that stealth pistol was just making sure if you land a shot, You mark him for a couple of seconds. That's what Dejan's going to use, knowing that he's not getting contested. That gives him the confidence to try to hold on to the high ground. But how long can you hold on to it with teams like Yamto and Rise still in the lobby? Kanata and Agers dropping down low to ultimate low ground. They have no match, so that was the best play they could have made at this scenario.
One of the few teams just tearing it up right now, but they let their guard down. Shots coming from above, and Agers is down. Kanata is now by himself. He is also Mr. Pump. When he's got it in his hands, he's hitting big shots here, and now he's up and running. Kinetic Blade to find himself back to the storm here, and just like that, he's still in the running.
Yep, solo clutches and Kanata. Name a better duo coming out. This is a monster moment for him because if he makes big plays, that's confidence. But Yamto and Rise towards the top, they go down all together as Kanata's still trying to keep his run intact. On the other side, that's Death to Tahi knocking on his door as Kanata is not answering. He just completely rotates on out, repositions himself because he has more left in the tank.
Know what they say, Jacob? Let him cook. He's here. He breaks his way into this top 15. He has a chance to do something big right now, but hold up. Duke, Edgy, down low. 4 elims as well, looking very, very solid here still. Holding on to those flares. But hold up. Let's get back to it now, but no. Kanata gets caught. 7 eliminations, though. He does end up wrecking it. Panther brings it to top 5, and User is finding a chance here to continue to earn some more.
Casker's Clarity trying to do it as well. They have 5 eliminations, and they're one of the few duos still left in the lobby, but under pressure from all angles, and they both get dropped, sent back all together. And this is Paper and Shadow. He saw him in the interview early on. As long as they can keep their chemistry intact, they're going to be one of the teams to look out for, and already proven that to be true.
Using a rail, of course, to break everything as well. Shadow is just tearing up
Back when
things
I was
here.
here,
Paper is here as well,
and
still alive.
you're
The
left.
zone's going to cook him just a little bit. Duke down low,
If
clears things
you
out.
are
Finds
watching
Paper
it,
there,
I'm just
and
going
all
to
of a
be
sudden
great
they
now.
find the refresher that they need. They have some mats to finally make a platform here to work with. The edit comes through, Edgy's down. Paper, Duke.
And if you haven't done the challenges yet, so our challenges, if you unlock the Stormtrooper or Darth Maul, if you had 1,000 V-Bucks or more, this is the only time you'll be able to get it. Darth Maul. You won't be coming again, I think.
One's healing at the
I
top,
think
the other
so.
one dropped down low to get the elimination.
Going tit for tat there in the end game, back and forth.
And you want to see how many skins I have in all. 156 skins in all. Ahsoka's code, no trooper, Maul, Void Pack, trooper. And I have Battle Pass skins from Chapter 2, Season 4 to Chapter 4, Season 2. And she has some Icon series skins. Star Wars now. Yeah, let's go my rarity. Blaze. Mandalorian. Joey. Chimera. Malik. Like every single Battle Pass skins I can do. And some collab. The normal Goku skin. Raven. The 7, Ram, Starfire. First Midas I ever got. Raven, Rebirth Raven. Some Gaming Legend series. Here's the Icon series. Oh yeah, Ariana Grande, LeBron James. Patrick Mahomes, Mahomes Saucy Style, Major Lazer, Mr. Beast, Diamond Jr., Patrick Mahomes, Cyber PK, The Rogue Leroy, Toon Squad LeBron, and Marvel, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Carnage, Doctor Doom, Doctor Strange, Groot, Jennifer Waters / She-Hulk, Mystique, Prowler, Scarlet Witch, Spider-Gwen, Spider-Man, Storm, Taskmaster, Thor, Tony Stark / Iron Man, Wolverine, Star Wars, Darth Vader, Maul, and all these Battle Pass skins. Like most of my Pass, that's Shop. Battle Pass, Shop. Battle Pass. Like a lot of, mostly I think they're Battle Pass skins. Some Battle Pass, some are from Iron Shop, like this guy. And there's a certain skin was came out in the shop, wore it every single time, which was 2 Meowscles, which is built-in emote. And I also do have some FNCS skins. 1, 2, 3 of them. And this right here is a special one because this is the first skin I was ever gifted by a friend. First everyone. Then I think this is the second one I got right here. And then when there was Chapter 2 Season 4, it's when I got my first ever Battle Pass.
Clean.
Yeah, and I do kind of want to highlight here, looking at this top 10 so far. Remember, this is just game 1. Let's not get crazy, but this being game 1, there's not a lot of these like higher profile duos you're used to seeing in that top 10. Someone like Bugha and Threat.
Return to lobby. I'll be seeing you guys later. And tell every mother out there, to every mother out there, Happy Mother's Day. Early Mother's Day. See you all later.